Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most influential figures in hip-hop and business, is facing the most serious moment of his career and his life. Today, we're breaking down everything you need to know about the P. Diddy sentence, what led up to it, and what could happen next. Back in July 2025, a jury returned a split verdict in Diddy's highly publicized federal trial. He was convicted of 2 counts under the Mann Act, a law that makes a crime to transport people across state lines for prostitution. Prosecutors said he arranged so-called freak-offs, secret events where women were allegedly paid and transported to participate. But the jury did not convict him on the far more serious charges of racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Those acquittals significantly reduced the possible penalties he faces. Even with those acquittals, the charges he was convicted on are serious. Each count carries a potential prison term, and together he faces up to 20 years behind bars. The prosecution is pushing for a sentence of around 135 months, which is just over 11 years in federal prison. They argue that his crimes were not minor, that they involved planning and coordination, and that his wealth and status made it easier for him to carry them out. On the other side, Diddy's defense team is asking for something drastically shorter. They want just 14 months, a sentence that would nearly match the time he has already spent behind bars awaiting trial. They say his convictions are for technical violations, that he has no prior criminal record, and that he has shown remorse. They also highlight his past charitable work and his role as a father. Before the sentencing hearing, Diddy himself wrote a letter to the judge. In it, he admitted that he had lost his way, struggled with drugs, and made terrible decisions. He said that time in jail has humbled him, that he is now sober, and that he wants a chance to make amends. His children also wrote emotional letters, asking the court to show mercy and allow their father a chance to rebuild his life. But the judge is not only weighing those letters. Accusers have also spoken out, including Cassie Ventura, who had a long relationship with Diddy. She urged the court to impose a serious punishment, saying she still fears retaliation and wants accountability. Her statement underscores how divided public opinion remains between those who see Diddy as a fallen icon worthy of redemption and those who see him as someone who abused his power for too long. There are also legal complications still in play. His lawyers have filed motions to dismiss the convictions altogether, arguing that the Mann Act is an outdated law with racist origins and should not apply in this case. The judge has yet to rule on that argument, but it adds another layer of uncertainty to how this sentencing will unfold. One important detail to understand is that sentencing is not limited to the exact charges of conviction. Federal judges are allowed to consider a broader pattern of behavior, even allegations that did not lead to a guilty verdict. That means a judge could still weigh the testimony about racketeering and sex trafficking when deciding how severe the sentence should be, even though the jury acquitted him on those counts. This leaves Diddy in a precarious position. If the judge accepts the prosecution's recommendation, he could be looking at more than a decade behind bars. If the defense persuades court, he could walk out much sooner. Either way, the P. Diddy sentence marks a dramatic fall for a man who once symbolized success, luxury, and power in the music industry. It's also a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change. For years, Diddy built an empire that stretched beyond music into fashion, alcohol brands, and media. Now that empire is overshadowed by a criminal conviction and the possibility of spending much of his 50s and 60s in prison. So what happens next? Judge Arun Subramanian will weigh the arguments, the letters, the legal motions, and the broader public impact before handing down the official sentence. That decision will shape not just Diddy's future, but also how history remembers him. This is one of the most significant legal cases in the entertainment world in decades, and the P. Diddy sentence is going to be talked about for years to come.